to the workers due to the presence of high levels of radiation. In November 2015, levels were so high in spots, the radiation was strong enough to kill a person in under an hour. The center also contains a replica of the containment vessel of a reactor, which it plans to use to test and investigate methods and technologies for dismantling. One of the most complicated parts of the entire process is the extraction and safe storage of the melted and solidified fuel that accumulates in reactors 1, 2, and 3 of the nuclear plant. Remember, TEPCO claims it still does not know the condition of the melted cores and is unable to locate them. They may still be liquid, consuming, atomizing, and aerosolizing everything it comes in contact with. Before the fuel is removed, the reactors need to be decontaminated and those sections where the water to cool them is filtered has to be repaired. Good luck with that. However, the radiation levels are so high that for the time being authorities have only been able to use remote control devices, such as robots, to access the damaged units. Robots have failed due to high radiation. The Japan Atomic Energy Agency, the agency in charge of the project, hopes this technology will help improve efficiency and safety of the tedious process of dismantling the center, which is estimated to take between 30 to 40 years. However, that estimate depends on technology yet to be invented.
See, the only way you win is inside the truth. You get outside the truth, and where are you? You're living in the middle. You're living in the middle, and that's where you get slaughtered. Ball field, battlefield, it doesn't matter. You get slaughtered in the middle because in the middle are the fucking sheep.
What do you want?
On shore. News Channel 5 meteorologist Steve Fundero joins us now with why experts say that's bad news. Steve?
Yeah, it's actually quite scary. According to the NOAA fisheries, since this past June, there has been a record amount of over 3,000 strandings of sea lions and sea pups. But that was because of the unusual warm blob of water in the Pacific.
When do you want it?
Now, with a strong El Nino year ahead, that just means trouble. These sea lions, adopted by Sleuths, a non-profit organization out of the Moss Landing Marine Labs, are deemed as failure to thrive.
They come in emaciated, the stranding centers nurse them back to health and fatten them up and let them back go. And normally if environmental conditions are okay, then they may be able to continue. But what's happening right now is that the environmental conditions haven't improved.
All because of El Nino.
Who's your daddy?
If you combine another warm water phenomenon in the El Nino with that, that could be a catastrophic effect in terms of the food chain and the availability of resources for animals.
What about your mum?
Scientists are on edge about the unusually warmer waters in the Pacific being influenced by this El Nino winter because that influence is really amping up stranded marine animals.
How do you want it?
We're seeing a stranding level that's 10 times the norm of what we'd see in a normal year. So this is a very severe incident.
These warmer waters are making it extremely difficult for sea lions to find food.
The effects of these warm water events is to drive nutrient upwelling offshore, and what that means is that there's less fish available for animals.
NOAA agencies monitor the sea lions' conditions to predict how they'll be affected in the upcoming months.
And they can predict with a great deal of precision what's going to happen based on the birth weights of these animals, you know, what's the birth rate within the population, that type of thing, and all the indicators, unfortunately, are negative.
Experts say that within the next month or so, an even bigger spike in sea lion strandings is expected. Back to you.
You heard all that, right?
No, I didn't hear fuck all because I'm using a piece of plastic designed by trolls covered in lights and buttons. Obviously a weapon, but I will turn it against them.
In Japan, lawmakers will vote on a resolution that strongly protests North Korea's nuclear tests and demands the country abandon all nuclear devices. The governing and opposition parties compiled the draft resolution, which says as the only country to have suffered nuclear attacks, Japan finds it totally unacceptable. And it calls the test a serious challenge to global nuclear nonproliferation.
Japan's defense minister has joined those around the world who are questioning North Korea's claims. Genta Nakatani says a hydrogen bomb is more powerful than an atomic bomb and would generate larger seismic waves when detonated.
The scale of the tremor was little different from the country's 3 past nuclear tests, so it's hard to conclude that the explosion was a normal hydrogen bomb test.
But Nakatani says Pyongyang's nuclear technology is believed to have reached a fairly advanced level. He says North Korea could have intentionally downsized the blast. Nakatani hasn't ruled out the possibility that Pyongyang may launch ballistic missiles or engage in other provocative acts in reaction to the international criticism. As global concerns erupted over the news of North Korea's nuclear test, in Japan it caused worry for another reason, worry over the fate of loved ones abducted long ago. NHK World's Takafumi Terui has more.
The families of abductees have been waiting patiently for word